so neat when you do it full time. Brent, all you guys that do it full time, we all meet each other in these little meetings over coffee, over lunch, in the living room, small towns, and then it's really cool when everybody gets in one big room together. It's kind of neat. So, I don't know where everybody is in life, but I will tell you that this opportunity won't come again. Ash and I've been in the industry for 22 years, and this is the unicorn I've searched for all 22 years, and we've done really well. But this one is about to hum, and the timing in the economy is good. The timing in the world is good. A down economy actually makes us speed up. That is, it feeds us. So the harder it is to sell a house or create a mortgage or whatever it is, the more of those people that free up to do this on the side because they need that income. So take advantage of it. So specifically on the drops, I want to get to you guys because you are going to constitute the majority of this time. The skinny drops, bottle one, the clear one, is full of about 11, I think there's actually 12 ingredients in there. They added one more to help with neuropathy in the feet, and we're already getting a lot of results from it. But several of the ingredients in there going to really work on balancing your thyroid. Doesn't matter if you have hypo, hyper, Hashimoto's, everything but taken out. We can't balance one that's not there anymore. But we've seen just tremendous anecdotal stories, even with the Hashimoto's crowd. They're slower, it's harder, but the thyroid controls your appetite a lot. It for sure controls your mood, your energy levels, not sleeping good. So when you get that into balance, that's one of the reasons that some of you feel better pretty quickly on the drops. Not the only reason, but one of the reasons. But the main reason is it gets the thyroid needs to be functioning at its best to give you the optimal way to lose weight. Several of the other ingredients are working on pancreas, insulin secretion, and blood sugar stabilization. You don't know this, and do your own research. Don't trust me, because most of I've got my master's in nutrition, but it was 30 years ago, and so much science has changed in 30 years ago. But everywhere, the people in the know, find them on YouTube, TikTok, wherever you like to research. But elevated blood sugar has become the leading cause of death in the country. It increases all-cause mortality outside of suicide or accidental death by at least 10-fold. Our top doctor, Dr. Strand, says it increases it 25-fold. So what that means is, if you walk around with elevated blood sugar, and it does not have to be type 2 diabetes, it could be prediabetes, it could be metabolic syndrome. If you don't know you have metabolic syndrome, check your triglycerides, check your belly. Belly's getting bigger and triglycerides are getting high, you got metabolic syndrome. That means your energy systems are not working effectively. You're not going from glucose to glycogen to fat burning effectively. So when we get that blood sugar stabilized, you have a 10 times less likely chance to have a heart attack, to develop cancer, all the things that high blood sugar elevates the risk on. And go dig your own digging there. So outside of the weight loss, that's my number one passion. And that doesn't include the ones that get crazy elevated blood sugar and start getting neuropathy and losing feet and type 2 diabetes and all those kinds of things. They call type 2 diabetes the 10-year death sentence. And if you don't know, our latest research is not the only cause of the Alzheimer's situation that we're having in our country right now, but it is a leading cause. A lot of doctors are now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, meaning you've had high blood sugar for a really long time. Do your own research. Throw all that in there. Check behind me. That doesn't come from our company. It comes from a lot of the good doctors out there you can follow. So that's going on. It's really effective. If you follow the approved food list, that is a low glycemic food index. I don't care if you call it keto, paleo, I don't care what. They all have to follow the same rules. There is a science to losing weight. You have to burn up glucose in your blood, flip over and start burning glycogen in your liver, and not until those are depleted are you ever going to burn a fat cell. So whatever program you're following, you must follow that rule. The keto diet was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Just kind of like CrossFit. We're doing CrossFit 50 years. Somebody branded it and made money with it. Well, every diet has to put you into ketosis. You know what keto means? When you burn fat for energy, it creates ketones, and that is your energy. So they just branded what every diet has to do and then kind of magnified it, meaning they make you test for ketones and stay in ketosis all the time. And that's where we differ from the keto diet. We're not going to be that strict because it's really hard to do long term. You can be that strict, but it's hard to do it for years. We don't want somebody to lose 50 pounds here this year and gain it back next year. We want a lifestyle change. Eat when you're hungry. Eat from the approved food list. Get these recipe books floating around. Where's Susan at? Susan was in Oxford, Mississippi, and she fed us lunch. And we walked in, I saw all these great brownies, and I was like, oh no, she can't have brownies at a skinny drop presentation. But then come to find out, she had made it from some recipes she found from our recipe books from John Oakey out in Omaha. Almond butter, almond flour, it was so good. It was better than regular brownies. So you can have anything you want as long as you follow the recipe books. But if a type 2 diabetic will follow that food list and take the drops, generally speaking, when they go to their doctor, their sugar levels are going to be crazy better. You're ready to hear some stories on it. Several other ingredients stimulate detoxification. It is very, very important. If you're selling skinny drops, you've got to educate the people getting them, because if you don't, you're going to lose them, especially middle-aged women. You guys, women in your prime, um, you guys generally carry a little bit more toxicity, no pun intended, you just do, because you don't drink enough water and you don't sweat enough. So when people start taking the drops and you start stimulating that detoxification and they start coming off, sugar is more addicting than cocaine. Do your own research. It's crazy addictive. And it hurts coming off of it. And detoxification hurts really bad. Those have been on prescription medications and other things, drinking bad water, consistently getting all those heavy metals stuck in your body. When that stuff starts trying to come out, if you don't help it, it's like a prolonged headache, flu, it could be rashes on the skin. That's all those toxins trying to your body. Half your body in ounces, no less. The more, the better. And after you reach half your body in ounces in water, make sure you're drinking a lot of unsweet green tea, unsweet regular tea, things along those lines. Just keep that fluid flushed and stay away from those artificial sweeteners. And obviously, the most detrimental thing you can do in a weight loss program is drink any liquid sugar of any kind. I don't care if it's orange juice, cranberry juice. That's what's going to spike insulin more than. If you don't know what insulin is, that's your hormone that goes and moves the sugar from the blood into the muscle. It is a storage and then fat cell eventually. That is a storage hormone. The most important part of the program is the way you start your morning. So there is nothing healthy in the morning. There is no healthy cereal. There's really nothing in a box or a bag, no matter how many you send me. Every now and then somebody sends me something that I say, okay, eggs, avocados, intermittent fasting, all those kind of things are really good. Okay, so that's bottle one. Bottle two has got your good form of B12. This is very important. Do your own research if you're new. There's two forms of B12. Cyanocolabine, a form of cyanide, is going to constitute 98% of every B12 product you can go out and buy in the marketplace at your Walmart, all those kind of places. Go Google what cyanocolabine is. And it does not even absorb in your body. You're taking garbage if you buy that. The only B12 that works is called, it's got to be methylated. Methoxycolabine is your B12. It's the same as at the doctor's office when you go and get your injections. B12 has a crazy amount of research on its ability to help with stress, anxiety, depression. That's the reason we get so many anecdotal people telling their stories of their doctors taking all kinds of medications. But it's also got ashwagandha in there. Ashwagandha is called the mood food over in the Eastern world. It's crazy good for all three of those things too. It's got rhodiola, which limits cortisol secretion in high stress environments. The reason we say really the only person on planet Earth that can't take our drops are pregnant women. Some doctors say it's okay, but it does limit cortisol secretion, and babies do need that cortisol. They need the storage hormone. They're trying to grow. And no pregnant woman should be on a weight loss program anyway. You need to feed the baby. So, like, I hate when pregnant women ask me, can they take the drops? No, leave the vein aside for 9 months and go have a baby, and then come back and get it right. And that'll be a great before and after picture. I don't know if you've seen Chelsea Parker's, but she's got a before right after she had her first baby, and then her after, and that's $1 million picture. She sold 100 boxes in like 2 days. So just go through that and start it right when you finish nursing. But put them underneath your tongue 3 times a day, minimum. If you put a big person on it, especially a big man, have them do it. So when Randy started, Randy 106 pounds down, I had him do it 5 times a day that first week, and let it kicked in. And are you down to 3 now? Just do it 3 times a day now? 3 times a day now. So you kind of know when it kicks in, you can back off a little bit. And so get that really in there. And if you don't feel it working good, elevate it. Drink water. The last thing I forgot to tell the women that they're in their prime, find a way to sweat. Find a sauna, a spa. You know, Jackson, Tennessee is a perfect place. 3 o'clock in the afternoon in July. It's just a little harder this weekend. Okay, So that being said, we're going to go through some testimonials. So if you want to share your testimonial, raise your hand, and I've got a few that I know I'm going to do big, but if you want to, just as I keep going, just raise your hand. We're going to come to you and share. So Randy, come on up. Matter of fact, if you've lost more than 50 pounds, or if you're some of those girls in the room that have come off that medication, that I've heard y'all stories, you don't mind sharing in front of the room, come on up. Down the line. Keep them to like 30 seconds so we can get through a lot of people.
Well, I started October the 31st, and the first 11 days, I think it showed I lost 26 pounds. And as of this morning, I'm 107 pounds down. And so feel so much better. And anybody can do this, and you don't have to starve yourself. That's the best thing about it.
My story really started in July. I've lost 50 pounds. Didn't really change a lot, honestly, other than take the drops. And maybe a bigger story is I'm off of metformin, 2 blood pressure medicines, feeling best I felt and the lightest I've been in since the late 80s, early 90s.
My story started in September of last. I've lost 77 pounds. The first week I dropped 21. The second week I dropped 22. And it's kind of just tapered off, but it's amazing what it's done.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm only down 26 pounds, but we have to start somewhere. But I have a lot of non-scale victories. Health-wise, I have completely eliminated all of my autoimmune medicine. And it's been like 11 months now on that. And that was from MOA. And because I trusted that product, I went to the drops and started that faithfully. And it's been amazing.
$92 pounds. Off 8 medications, no longer going to lose my eyesight. I really believe my PCOS is in remission, and I feel better than ever.
All right, it's Chelsea, would you mind sharing? Jordan, are you here? Would y'all share your two?
Yeah, I had already lost the weight when I started the skinny drops postpartum. So Kristen approached me with them, and I was looking more at them for the hormonal balance. I'd always struggled with anxiety and depression growing up. Been on anti-anxiety medication and antidepressants since I was about 18 years old. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of you do. And after about, I'm going to say it was 5 weeks of taking the drops, I call them the happy drops, skinny drops. After about 5 weeks, I was able to start tapering off, which I was a registered nurse for 10 years. So I don't recommend everybody, don't just cut your medicine cold turkey. Definitely talk to your doctor. Taper off as you should. But I tapered off I was on 60 milligrams of Cymbalta and about 1 milligram of Xanax at bedtime every day. And I'd been on that for years, and I was able to get off all those. So, yeah.
Hey y'all, I'm Jordan. So I dealt with severe depression and anxiety to the point to where I would have palpitations. I was just in a really dark place. I didn't eat, didn't shower for days. I couldn't be a mother, couldn't be a wife. I come off of blood pressure medication. I come off anxiety and depression medication, and I have tapered myself off of my thyroid medication, which is huge. I have Hashimoto's. I was sick and tired all the time. I was a couch potato, like Allison. I just had no willpower, and I was in a really, really dark place. But these drops have completely changed my life. I'm down 2 pant sizes and a shirt size, and I feel better than I ever have.
Hi guys, I might shake a little bit from fear of this. Anyways, I have 2 kids and they were 2 under 2. 32 years old, hormones in the 20s, premenopausal. Pellets, not working, burning out constantly, tired, crying all the time, postpartum depression, Prozac, 30 milligram a day, sometimes twice a day. Xanax, PRN as needed. I actually started these drops, and 6 weeks after starting them, I got off my Prozac. No longer on Xanax as needed. I got to cancel my last pellet appointment because I'm now in the 70s. So hormones have been reversed. Feeling better than ever, honestly. Like I have energy. I enjoy my workouts now. I want to play with my kids. I want to take them out. So just great. They've absolutely changed my life.
Okay. We got about 5 minutes left. Who would like to share? Come on, walk on up. If you want to share, come on up.
This is my first time to share like this, especially in front of a crowd like this. But I started the drops August the 12th of this past year. And before I started the drops, I had IBS. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it is life interrupting, especially the worse that it gets. And I had to take medication with me everywhere I went. I was on blood pressure medicine. Um, Not I won't say that I had a whole lot of stress because I had already done some things to kind of address that issue, but, since August the 12th, I have lost 42 pounds. Thank you. I no longer take the medicine even with me, much less do I have to take it at all. It completely cleared up all digestive issues that I've had. My blood pressure dropped so low 2 weeks after starting the drops that I had to cut it in half. Saw my doctor a few weeks ago. I happened to have a friend that was a nurse, and I called her and said, "Hey, is this blood pressure too low?" And she said, "Depends on whose it is." And I said, "Mine." And she said, "Yes. Have you looked at cutting your blood pressure medicine in half?" And I did. I haven't had to take it back up at all. And I saw my doctor just a few weeks ago, and he has said that after I've lost at that time, from that point, I've already lost several more pounds since then. But he said that once I've lost approximately 15 more pounds, he wants me off of that and all of my other medication. So, and just one more tip for that, in case it helps anybody. I will be 65 years old in April. I don't know of any 65-year-old that I know that is on no medication at all. So
I have lost 99 pounds. My A1C is 5.2. My blood work is all normal. But now Slenderiiz was not my first product. I was one that did not want to do nothing with this company. I sent my husband, I said, get rid of everybody. I, I am a firm believer and I push it every day.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I actually, what prompted me to try out the drops with Lacey. I had been watching her journey for some time, and before I started the drops, I was at 140, and I tried different products, tried intermittent fasting. Nothing worked. I had went to my doctor regarding, I had actually found a lump in my right breast. He sent me to go get a diagnostic mammogram, which led to an ultrasound. They told me that I needed to keep an eye on it. If it increased in size, that I should come back for a biopsy. He also discussed my weight and the possibility of taking diabetic medication. Um, I was at the pre-diabetic state. So Lacey had posted on Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to her, give it a try. Um, I I reached out to her in August after my diagnostic mammogram, started the drops on September 7th. I have went from 140 down to 112.8. I I'm so nervous. I'm not good at public speaking. But I did follow up with my nurse practitioner, And I did another ultrasound. The lumps in my breast are down. I believe that's the drops. They said that due to my age, I'm going to be 50 this year. So due to my age, that more than likely they're protein filled sacs, and it's created, due to the age that I'm in. The drops have helped. I've lost all this weight. I feel better. I have more energy. I sleep better, and no more lumps in my breast. I live.
Okay, awesome. She's awesome and beautiful. I'm Liz. I'm just so happy to be here today, and I love this room of people. My starting point for the Slenderiiz nutritional supplement, and that word nutritional became a whole new meaning to me since June of this past year. And to date, I only weigh once a week. So it was 55 pounds last week, and we'll see what it is Monday. But I feel freaking fantastic. And I owe it to the team of support behind me. And you got to have that for success in any type of healthy transformation. But my family, Jerry, Allison, Keith, Cheryl, Gary, Dunn, keep going, Todd, Ashley. But a lot of you that are in this room, but I thank God through prayer and a lot of fear drove me to do something about my health. That was the initiating point for me. And I feel like you're probably here today because of that too. There's a fear. I've got to get control of this. I've got to do something. I've got to have a starting point. And that was mine, but I didn't know how to do it. And so through prayer and research of a lot of different things that are available to us today, which those scared me more, but I was just so thankful that God brought Slenderiiz nutritional supplement to my life. It has changed me inside out, and I'm so grateful. So I hope today that you hear and you connect something deep within you. It did me when I came. Kristen Doyle, she and another lady that was here that talked about nutrition just turned the light switch on for me. And so I praise God for that. But I'm glad you're here today, and thank you for celebrating what the Lord has done in my life with nutrition. And let me say this, and I want you to look to the person beside you and say this too. God can do it in you too. Say that. God can do it in you too.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mary Catherine, and I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I am so excited to be here. I started my journey mid-July as a customer. I was actually a closet dropper for a month. I had to believe it truly myself and not what others said. And anyways, I had half my thyroid taken out in 2016. I ended up gaining over 70 pounds, never had any weight issues in my life. I unfortunately became the only parent on this earth for my kids shortly after that. And with that being said, you guys can imagine when you have things go on in your life, it makes it almost impossible to get that weight off and get your mind in the right location. And I could not be more thankful for this product. I have now lost 64.3 pounds. And after being on it a month, I joined the business. I've loved every second of it, and I have grown a huge, enormous amount of family. And this is an amazing community. So if you are not on board, today is the day. I can guarantee that you will have as much success, if not more. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. My name is Starlin Jones. I'm from Columbus. Now, I've been on this for the long haul. A few years back, I was on high blood pressure and cholesterol. Doctor told me to exercise, but I didn't. I started drinking Lebo. And after going for my checkups, that got me off high blood pressure and cholesterol. And never really had a problem with weight, but few years, maybe about a year ago, you know, your pants, start getting a little tight. So I started the drops after listening to some of the conference calls. I was weighing 242. Now I'm down to 225 thanks to the drops. Say what? If the Lord allowed me to see next month, February the 22nd, I'll be 79 years old. And no medication. And I love it. And I said like this, nothing happens unless you try. And I thank the Lord for allowing me to try this and to be in a part of this community. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And here's the beauty of this. We could go around the room. There's no telling how many thousands of pounds of weight loss is in this room. But for somebody like myself, that's just more of a common sense. I was on the phone with Dr. Ray Strand. A lot of you know Dr. Ray Strand. He will be in Panama City at our event in February. So I hope to see you there. We got a surprise for you with him and some of the things he's bringing with him. But I'll say this. Here's what he told me. He said, Brent, as we're young and growing up, everybody teaches us that jump on the scales. They'll tell the whole story. He said, the beauty of these drops is they're doing things on the inside that we cannot see that tells an even bigger story. And he said, Brent, as we age, so many people, their chronic disease is due to visceral fats, the fats stored around their organs that they'll never see. And so when I hear the weight loss stories, what I'm smiling inside about is Dr. Ray Strand's comment to, I can't see Alan Schultz's insides, that I know what he's doing to extend his life. And as he's starting to build a business in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and around the country, what he's doing in their life from the inside out. And so these drops, that's the power of the drops. And so I want to bring up right now, I'm excited about, I actually met in Florida, I met a nurse practitioner that knows so much of that healing from the inside out, that attacking the visceral fat from the inside out, that's helping our people not, have that heart disease or that diabetes that happens as we age, all due to visceral fats and things like that. So without further ado, I want to bring up nurse practitioner from the great state of Florida, Miss Lindsay Parsons.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I prepared something, but may or may not use it. So I want to tell you a story of where my journey started. I was sitting in an exam room all alone. So much anticipation. Just trying to fight out the fear, the doubt, and the worry. And the door cracked open. My heart was absolutely racing. Doctor came in, sat down, and said, I'm sorry, Lindsay, you're going to have to start fertility medicine. My heart shattered. My dreams of becoming a mother at that point felt like they had been ripped out of my hands. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, something you've heard about. And like many of you, I'm sitting there and feeling like my future was in the hands of the healthcare system. And I don't know if you've ever sat in a room and been delivered some sort of diagnosis from a healthcare provider. May have been yours. It may have been a family member. We've all been impacted by this. And so I worked in healthcare. I had been an RN for a long time. I listened to the doctor's recommendations. I listened to the side effects and the adverse reactions, and I started on those treatments. But at that point, I knew that I had to do something about my own health. As an RN, I knew about diseases, I knew about medications, but I didn't really truly know anything about preventative care and optimal health. It's not something that we're taught about. In this country, our healthcare system is disease management, and you've all witnessed that. Going to the doctor, being given a diagnosis, and a list full of pills. Many of you have stood up here and talked about your testimonials of coming off of these medications. And so I don't think that the system became what it is in a malicious attempt. But as technology bloomed and mothers started working outside of the home, habits started to change. We had prepackaged foods, carry out. Kids were home by themselves after school. They weren't allowed to go outside and play. Technology took over and manual labor started going down. So we really have to focus on those intentional exercises. So while the healthcare system, healthcare providers, we are highly trained and educated in recognizing diseases and giving out medications, but what didn't shift when all of these habits were changing was the education that we were provided. And so in my 7 years of schooling to become a nurse practitioner, I had one nutrition class. One. You can ask anyone, Chelsea, how many nutrition classes? We get one nutrition class, and it's the same general nutrition class that everyone who is completing a bachelor's degree has to take. Football players, journalism, it doesn't matter. We all get the same one nutrition class. So what most people don't want to think about, want to take accountability for, is that 80% of chronic diseases like heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, and 40 to 50% of cancers are preventable. That's a staggering number. 40 to 50% of cancers are preventable. But we have to take the steps to decrease the sugar intakes. Todd was talking about this. We've got to drink our water. We've got to be accountable for the things that we do. My name is Lindsay Parson, and I truly believe that we have an opportunity right now and more of an obligation to share what we know with the world to help impact the future of our healthcare system, of the health of our country and our children. Because they're the ones that if they don't see us breaking our chains and breaking our habits, they're not going to be able to change and impact the future of the health of our world. So I want to share with you a few actionable things that you can do to start moving the needle forward, to help moving not only your health, which you guys are doing a great job at that, and we're impacting other people, but just a few little tools that you can use. And so education, to educate. We've talked a little bit about that. Educating on the products. How many of you use Slenderiiz? Awesome. How many of you read the insert completely before you started them? Staggeringly less. And me too. I'll admit, when I started any prescription medication, do you read that long package? Nobody reads that. We don't educate ourselves. So we have the opportunity to educate ourselves with product information. So we need to be well versed on at least the Slenderiiz system, being able to answer the questions. And that means plugging into trainings. You guys are here. This is awesome. Plugging into these trainings, plugging into the Saturday morning trainings, talking to your upline and getting in Circle of Health, having opportunities where you can really get that information that you need to pass on to your customers. But honestly, the most important education that you can provide to any potential customer, any family member, anyone on social media is that testimonial that you're sharing today. Those of you that came up, it's that testimonial because people can see the research, they can hear what things do, but we don't read that. We don't read the package inserts. We don't really care about that. People want to see what it's doing for us. Okay. So in healthcare, we also aren't taught about supplements. Anybody else in healthcare take a class about, supplements and nutrition? No, the supplements we don't know about. In mainstream healthcare, we are taught that supplements will just produce expensive pee. We all know better than that. But in healthcare, the pharmaceutical companies, the pharmaceutical reps come in, they provide us with this lovely lunch and they tell us all about the new medicines that have been researched, but nobody ever tells us about the supplements. We have the opportunity to be the information for other people that we wish we had sooner. How many of you look back and if you had had this information 10 years ago, you can say how much healthier I would have been. You would have done it sooner. So we have to share that information that we have now with the world because the healthcare system isn't doing it. So the next thing that you can do, and you're all here and you're already doing it, is to be the example. We can't just talk the talk. We can't just talk about the products. You've got to use the products and you've got to do those habits. You have to decrease your sugar intake. You have to be eating the foods off the food list, moving your body, drinking your water. And I'll encourage you to share those things. We share a lot about the products. We share a lot about before and afters. But do you post on your stories when you're getting your food ready? Do you post on your stories when you're going out for your walk? It's really impactful for the rest of the world to see everyday normal people. Like we look at Kristen, we know that's her job. She works out. We know that that's a normal for her. But when normal people are sharing that that's what you're doing, we have to show that it's not just a supplement, that we're putting in the hard work and that we're taking those steps too and encourage them to do it as well. So be the example and share that with your friends and your family and your following, not just the influencers who do that for their job. And then another big one, prioritize consistency over perfection. We can all get wrapped up with having dessert last night while we're out with our friends and having a cookie when you have a bad day and completely spiraling down into this shame, blame cycle. And it's easy to self-destruct and start falling down into a place where you feel like you can't pick yourself up. Maybe you've stopped posting for a few days and you start feeling bad about it. Or you haven't plugged into the IPA call or you haven't been on a training and you start to feel bad about it. Give yourself grace. Congratulations, you're human, right? Like we all make mistakes. So remember to give yourself some grace and just plug back in. We're here for you. We love you. We want you to come back. And so that's the best thing that you can do is just plug back in after you've done it. We isolate ourselves when we start to feel bad. We start to feel like we've totally messed up and nobody wants to hear from us. But we'll welcome you back with open arms. And that's when you really need to plug into community to let us support you, to let your team pour into you and remind you how amazing it is to be here and how amazing you are. I want you all to remember, you have a story. You're here for a reason. You were placed here in the arms of your upline, your team, the community for a reason. We have all had amazing transformations and testimonials, and they are so important to share with the world. So really just want to encourage you to be strong, walk out in faith, and boldly share your story with the world, because the healthcare system is a little bit broken, and we need to be the glue that puts it back together and helps the world see that there is another option. Healthcare, I mean, mainstream media, drugs are necessary, but there is another way, and we have to take accountability of our health and share that with other people and also help them transform their health as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are going to move on to just a little bit of product training, and then we'll take a quick break. Okay. We have just a few products chosen. You know, we have over 100 products that we could choose from to train on. I have to say, selfishly, I chose my favorite ones. So I think, okay, it's coming.